They looked at me like I was making this crap up. And if you're like them, you probably thought a destination wedding was more than a traditional wedding. But I showed them a breakdown of a traditional wedding versus a destination wedding, and their eyes bugged out. And I'll show you what I showed them in a minute. So I want you to meet Brianna and Anthony. They got engaged in 2023 and immediately went into planning mode. Now, cut to a couple bridal shows later and a guest list that seemed to have included the entire city of Philadelphia, and they quickly realized that the wedding that they always wanted was exponentially more than what they had hoped. They wanted a celebrity level Instafamous wedding, but they didn't have that celebrity budget. One photographer even quoted them $10,000 for the VIP package for photography alone. As a teacher and a sales rep, they knew that even with help from their families, the wedding that they always wanted wasn't going to happen, and they were going to have to make sacrifices. But then they found me at a bridal show and we started talking about destination weddings. The first thing I told them was, did you know that you could save over half of your wedding budget by having a destination wedding? They looked at me like I was making this crap up. And if you're like them, you probably thought a destination wedding was more than a traditional wedding. But I showed them a breakdown of a traditional wedding versus a destination wedding, and their eyes bugged out. And I'll show you what I showed them in a minute. First, I want you to know that I've been where you are right now. You got engaged, congratulations by the way, and you started your wedding planning. And this is what you did. You make lists. I had lists everywhere, right? You start with your guest list, and then you have your venues, and then you have your caterers, and then you have the cake and the baker and the florist and the photographer and the DJ and the dress and the suits and the transportation and the invitations and the favors and the hotel room block and the honeymoon and etc., etc., etc. I know that feeling of holy crap, what's about to happen. And the entire time, your mom, your sister, Uncle Bob, even your coworkers are adding names to your guest list and more items on your to-do list. And this is what happens. The more people you add, the more items you add to your to-do list, the higher the budget needs to be. So now you have two options. You start cutting people off the list. I mean, you don't have to invite Uncle Bob's cousin's neighbor, right? Or you start cutting things from your list. Maybe you can deal with one photographer instead of two. But you don't have to do either one of those things, because I'm here to tell you that a destination wedding, particularly in Mexico or the Caribbean, can allow you to have everything you've always wanted without any of the sacrifices. You can have that celebrity level Insta-famous wedding if you do a destination wedding. So here's how it works. Particularly at all-inclusive resorts. In these countries, they have comprehensive packages that include VIP experiences for you and for your guests. So do you remember that list that you made of all the things that you needed for your wedding? The packages that these resorts offer include everything on that list. The best part, one price, a significantly less price than what you were looking at for your traditional wedding. Let me show you. This is what I showed my couple. According to one of my favorite wedding business coaches and a highly sought after and decorated wedding planner on the East Coast, the average American wedding starts at $30,000. But that's if you're solely doing it on your own. We're talking backyards, home cooking, DIY favors, you name it. Now, the wedding that you're thinking of with the venue, the photographer, the caterer, on average is $50,000 to $60,000. But you don't want traditional. You want Insta-famous, right? So now let's talk destination weddings. According to brides.com, the average destination wedding in an all-inclusive resort in Mexico or the Caribbean is $30,000. That will save you $30,000. $30,000. That's half. And in addition to that, when you work with a destination wedding specialist like Teach Tremble Discover, you unlock special bonuses and incentives that save you even more money. Like my one client, Luz and Miguel, who got over $2,500 back right before her wedding, or Haley and John, who were able to get a suite upgrade for their honeymoon. And we were able to get the group on this VIP status that was blowing everyone's mind. But it goes beyond just a number. The additional perks you get from hosting a large group at one of these resorts makes your event become more than just one day. It becomes an entire experience, not just for you, but for your guests. And your Insta feed blows up on a daily basis because everyone is living the best life. But here's the best part. You eliminate all of your stress. No more having to cut people off your list because you can invite everybody. It's on them whether or not they decide to come. No more sacrificing. You get everything you want. No more, well, we'll cut this off the list and then we'll cut that off the list. Nope. These packages come with all of the bells and whistles. And no need to stay up late researching and planning and organizing and figuring things out because everything is done for you. A destination wedding in Mexico or the Caribbean gets you that wedding that you've always dreamed of at a price that you can afford. So how do you do it? There's 5 steps I want you to follow. 1, you got to pick the country or the island that you want to have the wedding. 2, make a list of the top 3 resorts that you like. 3, make sure that you choose the right wedding package that fits your budget. Step 4, reserve your date for your wedding and the room block for your guests. Step 5, sit down and relax, because it's all done. Your wedding is planned. As a romance travel specialist, I work with couples every day who are planning their destination weddings, honeymoons, or romantic adventures. Combined with my own extensive travels of more than half my life, plus my 15 plus years in the travel industry, I was able to cultivate relationships all over the world for my clients to give them the best experience they need to make their dream weddings come true. So are you ready? Are you ready to ditch the overwhelm, to not have to make sacrifices, to save $30,000 on your wedding, to have that Instafamous celebrity level wedding without that celebrity level price tag? Do you want to take control of your wedding? I think you do. Take control of your wedding now. Click the button underneath this video and let's see if we can help you.